end it in 2.
And with the winner of this going on to face the loser of that G2 phase matchup, there's big challenges still ahead, right? And I think if you're a NAVI fan here, you're hoping they can put this one to rest nice and cleanly. Any OG fans out there, I'll give you 2 players to keep an eye on here, Regali obviously being one of them. Yeah. And then alongside him, I think it's got to be Fasha. There's no map I've enjoyed watching Fasha play throughout his career more than Inferno. I think some of the rounds we saw him get away with on Anubis, where he runs in, just finds some like ludicrous triple opener. He does that a lot here on this map. In the pistol, Fiku and Vito open up, but Alexi and Simple will do what they can to keep the numbers even into the 2v2 now, as it's Simple and Bit out of the apartments. And dropping into the site, they're going to have a route to a plant here. Nexa might look to uproot that. He moves in, and Simple is dead. It's just Bit back against the wall, and Nexa beats him to a pulp. OG, they're going to pick up the pistol.
Yeah, that's the last thing Navi expect. They expect more respect in the 2v2 there than OG just walking in, Bits holding flanks and looking at apartments, and they just stroll right into the bomb site and catch Simple setting up with a bomb. Very awkward way to lose a round, considering how strong it started for Navi. Alexi gets 2 kills in middle while he's cornered, and then Simple even escapes with that Molotov to get the bomb back into A. Looked perfect for Navi, but Nexa sneaks in and steals that pistol away. A good plug-and-play map, so you know with a relative inexperience as a roster for OG that Inferno should be in their wheelhouse, even if it's been a go-to across every iteration of Navi. We obviously know that OG similarly have not had a lot of time to get prepared, only a day of prac before Copenhagen. Most teams essentially had to use Glass as a boot camp coming into Cologne. And no one's unbeatable right now. That's the benefit of it. So early in the season, so unsure of these new rosters and leaders, that anyone can fall. Even OG on this anti-eco, because they've eaten another Deagle headshot. Ema, he's really woken up into this series the longer it's gone on. It's only Fiku in pit.
Call him the lone wolf because he operates oftentimes, left to his own devices and with great results, but they're expecting a lot from him in this round. He is alone down in the pit in a situation where, anything short of 3 kills here is not going to be enough for OG. There's 1, and that's the end of the line for Fiku.
Oh dear.
Well, suddenly OG have got a reason to go for this.
He was running away from it. It blew up on balcony. And yeah, you certainly tried. 2 kits, no nades, but 2 Fatmas versus 2 MP9s, the winner of the CT side right now. Simple doesn't like it. He plays with a Deagle. Fasha has good timing here. He's waiting for Nexa to group up. Simple misses that. Goes back to short. This is very awkward, but he does catch Fasha looking the wrong way. Nexa needs to clear the site quickly. He does onto Simple. He's got a kit. Simple's got the bomb for him, though. Flash out, just trying to play with him, and he will end the round. 2 kills and the clutch to boot. Simple's in with a second for NAVI.
I really like how as Simple's darting back and forth between holding short and apartments, he's changing situationally between the Deagle and the Famus, right? If someone's coming up short and he gets that long-range fight, he wants the ability to delete them in 1 bullet, and he's got full faith he can do that. If they're coming out of the apartments, he feels like he fares better with the Famus, something full auto to churn them up, to slow him down. So that anti-eco goes the way of NAVI. Not what OG would have liked. One that they're going to be kicking themselves about, because it feels like, that they gave them some chances to find those swing kills in the mid-round from the aggression. Very heavy lean over here towards A. 4 players strong, just Fasha. Over on the B side of the map, he's got 1 smoke left to work with, but because he hasn't got any info over at B, we can see him dropping that utility in right now on the minimap. It's all coming out like very, very early. He has a 2nd smoke over towards spawn, but even now he's got to hold on to that one. NAVI don't even look interested in probing out this side of the map, so it might never come to matter. It looks like they are leaning over towards the stack right now. And with only 50 seconds left, I don't imagine they go back and try clear banana. They have to dedicate to the A play here. So they will be walking into this 4-man hold.
But if they have long control, it should be no issue for NAVI. They're not going to escalate on short first. That deep smoke gives so much room for them to cross into the bomb site. The real danger is Regali here, hiding out with a deagle. He hits one, Fiku uncleared, and the fourth player is what catches NAVI off guard. They still get the plant if they want it, but they make the perfect read. What a ballsy rotation. Knife out, running through CT spawn. They estimate that Fasha has pushed down banana.
And he realizes this, but way too late. It goes quiet over towards A, and suddenly he recognizes that they've likely taken this space. He could still win the round with a kill on the planter right now, but arriving just a second too late. And even though he does some damage to Ema, it's not going to be enough to entice Fiku into the 1v2. He's too far away, doesn't have the kit to operate with, so he will just save here.
It's more than likely that NAVI expected 5 players after you see, 4 down in pit and site. But even so, they know that if we haven't been attacked by long, by now, that is our best option because we can just take the CT space and go in and rotate. Alternatively, if they try and hunt down Fiku in pit and he's stalling, he's crouching, he's not giving them the kill, by the time they actually get to his position, that 5th player, no matter where they're coming from, CT or banana, is going to be there as well, and they'll be able to play together. NAVI do a really nice job of forcing that 2-on-2 into a 2-on-1. Very close, even so. That was a force up with pistol armor, nothing more, and OG make it interesting at least, but NAVI now control the economy, and OG are eco around the AK.
Yeah, they've got one flash to try set it up. And so it seems like Fiku wants to try and fight early on over for this mid control, taking a swing down through middle, flashed off the angle, and they might just lose this one AK now. They don't full commit to the fight. Regali moves in with his deagle. That's the mid ends in a stalemate, but the rest of NAVI have taken this top banana control. They're waiting for a jiggle out from the coffins. And if they do just keep walking into B, this should be their round. That makes it a little weirder now. NAVI get somewhat hesitant, but they will follow through with this B play. Move in, Fasha sees some heads. Really just staying alive is nice for Fasha here. They're assembling the boost over at spawn. They put Fiku up on it with this rifle. He's gonna have to deliver. He's gonna have to stand tall. Alexi running amok underneath him, and NAVI look like they're gonna go back here. Bit has cleared out the A site. He's down in the pit. This is a power position to own. And so this is a nice, mid-round decision out of NAVI just to minimize risk here.
Yeah, what a nightmare for Fiku, who just waits and waits and waits. And here's Alexi backing off, but he can't do anything about it without risking it and just jumping through that smoke. Simple might even deny the AK as well. Huge exit to give Nexa a gun, perhaps. And NAVI might just accept that. Unless Bit wants to go hunting, considering his lesser weaponry. So it's not a bad eco for OG. They get out with something, but again, NAVI go into a stack and decide last second, I don't like what I see. And they didn't even see the AK. Didn't even find out. So perfect rotate out, 3-1. And even though, as you just put it, the winner of this game is still in trouble given how stacked Group B is. With G2 and FaZe, the loser of which are foe. There is a lot more work to do. NAVI, I would like to see them make a statement in this map and just take it cleanly if they were going to take it. Give them some confidence into that follow-up matchup. Because while the glimmers have been there for NAVI with this new roster, they don't look as established as a FaZe or as a Heroic or even as a Vitality who have made changes.
I think that's to be expected, right? The nature of the changes that are undergone within NAVI are, I think, far greater. The challenges that stem from them, even the transition into just being an international team. Something that for someone like Bit is just something you're flat out not used to.
Yeah.
Simple. It's been a long, long while.
And it's these are the second, third, and fourth non-CIS players that Na'Vi have ever added to the team. The only prior one being Guardian. First time this organization's ever gone international. And so going back to what has been a legendary event for Na'Vi in Cologne, I would love to make it to the Lanxess. Big kill for Fiku, finding Ima in the smoke. Bits ahead of the util, but there's so many eyes on this position. He just about catches Fiku. Kito trying to hunt him down. Does get him with nades out. 4 on 3, Na'Vi have long. Look at the pace.
Nexa, though, domes Alexi as he rears his head out from around the corner. JL's been spotted up through the short side. Simple, swift return to bring it back down to a chance, but Nexa will not let them in to his bomb site. Job well done from the man at the helm of OG. Deals with that long wrap component. You kind of mentioned the pace that Alexi had there, right? And you felt like maybe that would be enough to catch OG off guard, but Nexa had great awareness when and where those fights were going to be coming from.
Yeah, he runs so far and then he cuts noise, but the last couple of steps got heard by Nexa, so he just gets to crouch on an off angle and Alexi sneaks into him. Nexa having a really good start to the map. He was missing on Anubis, but 3K on the pistol, 2K there to shut out that A split.
I'm still waiting for Fasher. I promised that he would step up, but I think it's T side. Right? That's where we're going to get the most mileage out of him.
Yeah, I think that has been one of the identity issue, the way you pitched OG in map 1 like a Long Island, you know, the leftovers maybe you could call them, but there's not a clear-cut star player on this team like they even had before in Flames, or like many other rosters have ended up with after the transfer window. So someone must emerge, someone must stand tall inside of this OG team if they are to make deep runs in tournaments. But IEM has never really been where OG have done their best work as an organization. Never made it to the playoffs of an IEM event, on LAN at least. And they came so close in Rio, only a map away against what turned out to be the victors. Na'Vi going for a mid-take.
For the most part, OG are kind of willing to give up this room, right? With how they're set up here, they're not really fighting for this deep mid control. It gets really awkward now that Fiku's caught like that, falling back from long. There was that gap over towards the apartments, and like even though Kito's in a position to kind of respond to players moving out, he was never in a position to cover it, and so that was always open. That sightline was always a threat. Little gaps being found and exploited by Na'Vi, and now they turn their attention and getting this top mid control. Kito moves in, does decide to fight it. That's more like it from Kito. Does he have any more left in the tank here? Out on an island in mid, he'll claim the life of a third before he's dealt with. Now his teammates have got to finish what he started. 2v2, JL's grabbed the bomb bit, rerouting out of the apartments, going to join him on the short side. It's all eyes on Nexa here.
They've got to go quick, 15 seconds, a flash doesn't do a thing, he's covered behind the pillar and they haven't cleared him. JL runs right into Nexa, who just buys time. A few seconds will do it, and Nexa wins the round again for OG. Another massive 2K for Nexa as the close comes through, but it's all set up by Kito. He has reason to fight right now, the only remaining German in the tournament, in the competition, as Big Academy fell earlier than they would have liked.
Nice, Kaito. Nice, Niels. 3 kills, brother.
Kito has a reason to fight on, and he showcases some excellent aim there in middle.
Very reassuring as well, because, you know, Navi's kind of game plan on Anubis, even if it wasn't what it was supposed to be heading into it, it just became bullying Kito, essentially, right? Getting in his head, making him look very uncomfortable on that first half when he was CT side, but here, a little more comfortable, a little cleaner from Kito. And so maybe there's a world where he can build across this series, offer a little bit more to OG, go from being a problem piece on map 1 to maybe even the solution here on the second. Down to pistols now for Na'Vi. This is OG's chance to take the lead.
Excellent recovery if they can keep this up. Into another gun round, perhaps. This should not be too much of a threat. Just Simple and Bit looking to wield something. Simple always has something. I never see him with a Glock. And it's not like he's begging for drops. He'll just hemorrhage his buy in the next round for a Deagle, for a P250. If you see... Woo! Well, for good reason.
You want to know why?
Hey, for good reason.
Know why? Maybe he's going to show us why. Oh, Bit gets one as well.
No
Bit
way.
gets a Deag.
Just one guy.
Good reason.
Oh,
Biku overran and the A site crumbles. The bomb, however, is down here in mid, and OG have got it under their control.
Even with the Glock, Alexi might just have this kill. Nex is so low. He didn't re-peek window, though. Nexa gets that bomb. But Alexi, this is at least a trade, if not just a straight-up legal kill. Hits the headshot as well. And Fasha, you wanted him to do something in this game. Now's his chance.
Yeah, this has got to be his moment. He's been spotted already down in alt mid. They know that this bomb can be retrieved by Simple with no threat, with no presence of Fasha to worry about. And so that bomb now retrieved. This marks the start of a 1v3. He can't even really attempt it. They know where he is. They know where he's coming from. Every avenue is locked down right now. And so Fasha's got to go save with just a handful of Deagles for Na'Vi. They'll find the round. And it's heartbreaking for OG. As mentioned, this is their chance to start to exert a bit of pressure on this series, a bit of pressure on this map.
And they're so confident Simple's hunting B right now. Like, he could come in late from apps and drop in with a kit. You never know. But Na'Vi, they've got the perfect idea, the perfect read, and the perfect round off the back of Simple and Bit in tandem, hitting headshots. They've been supplying a lot of firepower in this series, haven't they? The old god of Na'Vi winning an eco right as OG was starting to establish some control. Back-to-back multi-kill, closing rounds for Nexa. Full on dead ears.
And I think, it is reassuring that you're getting good performances out of Bit and Simple because, if for the sake of talking about the challenges that the Na'Vi team was going to face, it's kind of these two players that would be in the limelight for that, right? The transition to going international with everyone else being used to that as the precedent from their last few teams. So, nice to see. I mean, Bit, I think, has been stellar in this series. Really, really fun to watch. He's so self-sufficient. That's the crazy part, right? So often you'll just kind of see him going off on his lonesome, finding openers, finding multi-kills, and it's not even like he's really getting set up to do that.
Looks very capable. He was the nightmare up in A main back on Anubis. Keto could not get a grip on Bit. Now it's just this save gun for Fasha. Otherwise, pistols. I like the boost. Haven't seen this recently, but there was a point where everyone was checking for it, especially when there's a B smoke down. We don't have that yet, but Keto has one ready. He's holding it as he waits for noise. They nade the top. As the flash does nothing. Actually blinds JL, meaning he doesn't peek into the setup. Keto's really holding it out, not wanting to drop this. I think they saw it.
Yeah, they saw on the jiggle, and that's why the boost has been dismantled. That is a terrifying way to get peeked when you're in that boost.
I know both players are in the bomb site now. Oh, that's a nightmare. Oh. It says no smoke kill. I don't think JL could see him. Sure, Keto will grab the gun, but Na'Vi just goes see ya. They know just from the kill feed, killing Fasha means the rifle is here. And there you go.
There's nothing else to really make this round super interesting for OG. Even if they go running into this one gun, it's Keto with no armor, alone in the B site. No one else to retrieve that, no one else to help him. He's going to have a full volley of util coming in against him. These flashes are going to start raining in. So that leaves him blind. Back of the site, puts up one. That's about what you could have expected from him there. But the round will be Na'Vi's, and IEM even wants to add insult to injury here. Posted up in middle. There's not much to be saved. It's this one Deagle out of the round, so IEM's not going to be removing much. And he knows he kind of has more to lose here, so he's just going to back away, hold some of these angles that players look to rotate through. Does miss the timing on mid. Oh, this is weird for Simple. He found himself sandwich, an OG sandwich, and Simple don't make a meal of it. Fiku dead, and now Regali followed up onto. Weird situation there towards the end, but it's still that conversion that NAVI were looking for. Very, very slow start to this map for Fasha. He had the hero gun in that round, just spammed out by JL. Feels like he can't catch a break. He had the 1v3 over in alt mid that goes awry as the bomb was given up. So he's defo had, you know, what feel like opportunities in this game, but yet to realize any of them. Orp out for Regali, who also sits 1-6, having a very strugglesome time here on the CT side with this AWP. Yeah. These two are usually front runners for OG whenever they've played Inferno in the past, so worrying signs that they're both struggling to get the ball rolling.
We've got a double app setup. This is good. Bit's been really annoying up in apartments, just getting picks out onto balcony, so they're trying to get him early. Jiggle out. Bit does not fall for it. Keto kind of needs to get out of here, but he opts to take the fight instead. Ema wins that out with the AK. Regali has to go back to Porch and inevitably even back to the bomb site, but with only him alone on the A site, he has so much to watch right now. It's a good round for OG to make a gamble. If they went and put 4B, it's not a bad decision by any means. NAVI might just exec in, but the question is, will they get curious prior to that?
The gamble stacks have been really hard to work, though, because of Bit. Bit has been very, very dedicated to clearing apartments and to getting the info what's happening on this A side of the map, and I imagine this round will be no exception to that rule. So Regali does have to hang around, and he will get rewarded for his patience. The rest of NAVI move in. Signaled by Bit lobbing the util out from apartments. Moto is now smoked, and they're going to have a route to the plant here.
How do you even win this? You don't have a kit, and yeah, a little bit of util, but even Simple wants to grab a kill on this fading smoke, and he might just have it. Nexa, he's been the hero on winning these A rounds. But I don't know if OG are buying in. They realize it's too far gone, they sneak away. No kit, no hope, and Na'Vi with a 6th. Even Ema just dying on the long smoke push there is all the info Na'Vi need. They know the orb's locked out. They immediately Moto smoke, and unless Regali makes a crazy play of jumping through that, there's no one in the bomb site to stop them. OG just put their hands up and surrender. Seeing a really solid T-side out of Na'Vi, and that's been the most exciting part. I think Alexi has given this team some nice structure on their T-sides. It's been pretty loose, but right now, having no issue converting rounds.
Yeah, and I think, you know, NAVI are making Alexi's time calling feel quite easy right now because the individuals are looking really good. So it's just letting them play this default and wait and see for, you know, where the contact comes out of OG, and then you're just kind of reacting to where you get these opening picks. Alexi's not having to get like bogged down in really micromanaging these small moves, right? Instead, it's just kind of sit pretty, hold our default, wait and see where we find the openers, and we'll go from there. This round, they get a pick over towards B. They're going to hold. They're going to wait and see what the reaction is from OG. And with each second, they'll get rewarded more and more. Sure, one's claimed back the other way by Fiku, but all this means is that Bit's likely going to look to leave the apartments, and this will end over towards B, where only Fasha resides, and he's got nothing to work with.
He's blocked a smoke, but the USP, they just spam it through, and somehow he even gets back to Coffins, but his team probably won't even be joining him at this point. Keto's going to go have a look at Spawn, but in all reality, OG should be thinking about that next round, about saving yet again. As Na'Vi have found the gap once more. Nothing to do here but die for Fasha. 7-3 on the T half. Ooh, okay. That's something. He's on the board. He got a kill, but he won't be getting out. And even Bit, you know, with the money where it is, he could go hunting. He could take a peek into the pit and try and find one more gun on the way out. Won't have resounding consequences. OG are buying up regardless, but yeah, Yeah, Bid's freedom on this T side has been enjoyable to watch. Simple and Alexi, they've been paired together, side by side most of this half. And we need Regali to have a round right now, because as much as OG relied on that back on Anubis, he's not even really fired off that AWP in the CT side. 2 and 7, barely been in the right position. OG have not even had Banana. Does feel like there's a lot of standard setups that OG haven't even tried, right? Like giving Regali Banana on the orb, leaving him there, going for a 4-1 on A, trying to crunch Navi out of middle. They've allowed Navi just to take middle as OG have been playing bomb site pick crossfires, and that's where Bit's been just cutting them in two.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pressure he's been putting on over towards the apartments has been paramount as to why these setups have felt pretty passive over towards A, right? You're so worried about this apps man just popping out that you're hesitant to play like these super forward mid setups. Everyone's kind of playing the trade game for Bit in apartments, but it's... This one looks to be a little more of a full frontal assault down through mid with the util. Follow-up nade as well. Thought that would do more damage to IEM, but it sails a little deep. So Ima's allowed to hang out in this cubby over in mid. OG have triple lent towards the B site. And this has kind of been the problem. Is like, when you're getting shut down by the default like this, it's how do you go about getting the info? Well, you kind of don't right now if you're OG. You're taking a gamble early, hoping that they pressured for some of this B control. That hasn't happened, but you're hearing JL lob the util. This is a nice mid-round move, at least, to go and retake the top of Banana. And so now they know it looks like it's not the B play.
But they're not freeing up to rotate. Nexus holding spawn because Long's been open all round us. Again, as far as they're concerned, Na'Vi could be in their spawn, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's been so passive on A. And yeah, it is ending on that A site, but again, we need multi-kills out of Fiku and Keto.
Yeah, OG are flying blind.
And again, Na'Vi wrap long, it's perfect. As long as they go soon before Nexa regains this ground.
He's so fearful every step of the way. As you say, I mean, this whole route has been open the entire round. And now Na'Vi try to get tricky with it, taking the arches. Nexa moving in. Timing looks good for him here. He spots that second player as well and will deal with him. Regali finally puts one up on the board and sends them out of Banana. Na'Vi, they get the real estate over at Long, but it lulls them into a false sense of security, and they actually go into that triple B lean for OG. That's really the first time that Na'Vi have truly looked to play into OG's hands.
Yeah, I thought Na'Vi were just using that long smoke as a fake, and they were just going to play the fade and go back into that A site, but they didn't know that OG would triple B in all reality. They didn't know where that AWP was for sure. And so they try and wrap the B-bomb site. They go, thanks for the space, I guess, and they don't doubt it. But as we can see, Nexa's been holding it for the entire round. And again, it's just Nexa who has to win OG all these rounds. It's felt like we've had one big 3K from Keto in a round that Nexa closed with, a 2K on the A site, but that's another 2K. He's had 2 3Ks. He's just been on it, man. Whatever Nexa did between the maps has brought him back into the series. But are the rest of OG up for the job?
Yeah, I mean, that's the worry, right? It's great that an Nexa can do this. It's great that he's the type of leader who can put up numbers to win you rounds, but is that sustainable across the course of this matchup, across this map?
Where is OG? Where is Regali?
Because, one of the things we were saying about Alexi is how easy it must kind of feel for him to call right now. He's got full faith in all the individuals. Everyone's just kind of winning their straight-up fights. Nexa is having the polar opposite experience on the other side. Bit so often has been rewarded just holding for this cross back from Moto, and it's always been Fiku on the receiving end of this pick.
And he might move because he's been long smoked right now. He's still holding on to it, but we'll see if Fiku decides to adjust. If he does, he's going to just be caught for free by Bit, who won't miss this opportunity. Na'Vi going through the smoke right now. Great shot for Alexi. That should not be so easy, but captains come through in this game.
From the pit, finds one. He's choosing the long fight right now. He's got a teammate posted, Nexa alongside him. Oh, a little awkward there, but Nexa having a worry about even his teammates. You never know who's truly on your side here. And with Keto dead down in the pit,
Back
Nexa
up.
repositions, just trying to stay alive, just trying to be a nuisance and keep harassing them from the pit. But he's spammed out by JL. Simple is repositioned up into the apartments and now looks to win this in the 1v2 that lands, but doesn't quite finish the job. Fasha finally comes through with some impact here for OG, a double kill to close. It's a step in the right direction, but there's still a long way to go for OG.
Hey, I'm very impressed OG win that round, given how it starts, given the space NAVI have, the pick they find on long, which is so easy, but some great defensive utility. You see how both players use this smoke to not only stay alive, but also essentially one-way those long kills. And Fasha, he read that perfectly. He had the idea, Simple went back up into apartments, didn't doubt it, and clears the site, able to find both kills to close that round. Forces a pause from NAVI.
OG are a very, twitchy team. You can tell the stress gets to them in those moments, man, because that's not the first example of someone full spamming their teammate from this OG squad. We had it take place between Regali and Fasha just the other day. So it seems like, in those more chaotic moments, they do get a little lost in the sauce. One more pause, and now we head right back into it. This is a point where OG can still break away into this first half. That money for NAVI starting to run out. And finally, we have a bit more of a B focus to open up. I mean, these B players have largely just been fighting lurkers. And in the rounds where they haven't had many players over towards B, that's usually been when NAVI have looked to end up here.
This is not an early exec. We still have two players in mid and abs. Bit, of course, leaving options open, but NAVI are throwing a bunch of util into this B site to try and elicit a reaction, get the grenades out of OG. They've managed that. They've pulled Regali over. NAVI look like they want to go for that B group after all. So OG, they, you wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see them gamble here, because we've never really seen B executes, but this is a nice belief in the call for OG. 3 players here, the AWP as well. Regali's time to shine.
Oh, he doesn't take the shot. If he did, that could have been something. He will still get it the second time around. And Fasha swinging the smoke down at spawn. Starting to find his impact, starting to find his voice a little bit in this one is Fasha. It was 0-7, now sat 5-7. Couple of multi-kill rounds in there to find them for OG. And Bit knows he can't win this. He's just hanging out, trying to hold on to this AK. So a successful hold over towards that B side of the map. That's a feel-good moment for OG, a feel-good moment for Nexa as well, as he calls for that lean over towards the B site. And it feels notable because NAVI have been real fans of, testing out the apartments, testing out this mid-control. But perfect timing on that decision to play 3 over inside of B, out of the OG squad.
Yeah,
now they're building back into this, right? Suddenly they're in a spot where they could look to win out the half here, because as mentioned, that NAVI money was almost gone going into that previous round.
What a crazy statement, considering how clean these rounds have been for NAVI. It's felt like they've been stomping OG, mainly because the rounds they get away with are so decisive. They forced a lot of saves, but that has had consequences, right? OG actually have had decent money most of the half. Haven't had to play all these eco rounds because they've always had a couple of guns to work with. And as you say, NAVI not quite as well endowed in this round as they're left with a Mac 10 and a Tech 9. Full nades. So let's see how they decide to wield these AKs, which will be looking for opening kills. Bit especially. Between Bit, Simple, and Alexi, 6-1 in opening duels. They've been the whole punchers here on this T side. Good spray Fiku does a lot of damage, but it's only the lower weaponry players. They're going to pop them out. It seems like Na'Vi want to go quick. Triple nade into the pit. Won't land a thing, but that's at least cleared a position out, and Bit does what he does best.
Man, calling the landlord because everyone else is just renting. This guy owns the apartments. Bit dropping in, sets his teammates up with a double, and even though Nexa does all he can in defensive A hat-trick put up, 3 kills demanded and 3 kills gifted over, will that be enough to bring OG into this retake? Fasha still a long ways out. And over towards Long at JL. Holding for this, he can hear Fasha just running it up middle. That one is delivered for free. Regali suddenly throwing into the clutch, brings it down to the 1v1. Simple, looks like he wants to face this. Playing it from the short side, he goes swinging out now, and Regali is not expecting it, not ready for that. Simple with a heads-up play, just elects to take the fight head on. And Na'Vi, at bare minimum, have won out this first half at 8-6.
Yeah,
Managing to get it done as well on a low buy, right? There wasn't a hell of a lot of firepower brought forward into that round. They had SMGs in play, a handful of AKs, and they come out looking all the better.
I love that Simple just goes for the swing there. He knows Regali's feeling the burden of the clock and is probably just running it down. He can't afford to wait any longer. OG was worth going for that 2-on-2. They had the money to sustain, and they're fighting for the last round of the half here with a decent buy, with an AWP as well.
I wonder where Bit's going to go.
Same place
Just
every round.
Every single round.
Hey, it's been working so well. 3-0.
No, Alexi
has
really seemed to adopt the mentality of if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, if OG don't solve this problem, then we're going to do it every single round. And he said no issue doing that now on both maps.
They had one app set up in the entire CT side. It was with the AWP, and it got baited by Bit's Jiggle. Now,
he going to end the half with the Alexi classic.
Oh, it
the
is a classic.
Pop. In they come, out they go, down into the pit. JL found first. It will fall, accomplishing nothing in this one. A rarity for Bit, who's had great successes on these apartment pushes. Ema, critical fight over on the long side. He can duck out of there, doesn't have to commit to the push, doesn't have to ever open himself up to Fasha, and can try support Simple down in the pit.
Flash right in front of him. Simple needs to swing wide with this as he dodges it, looking for the sight man. This is a great cross for Simple that I don't think they'll be aware of, but they're not exposed to him just yet. Keto's considering it as well. Waiting for Ema to come out of abs. Simple jumps up and falls down as OG saved the half right at the very end. 7 rounds is not
intact.
Yeah, Nexus had so many impactful multi-kills from default on A, and, well, we'll have to see if this entry power from the rest of the squad will show up in this second half, this ultra hyper important second half, as it may be OG's last half in the tournament. If it doesn't go their way, Nexus with the nades, Fiku leading at the front, and Simple awaits on Long.
They can avoid this stack at least if they follow through with the A play. Seems like Fash is just the guy waiting for a reaction, a banana push from Na'Vi. Simple moving in and his teammates pressured. That's awkward here for Na'Vi. This double setup is uprooted immediately. And Na'Vi are in a position where, you know, if this was a rifle round, you know what they would be doing. They'd be saving. Because it's pistols, you wonder if it was going to be a different reaction, but they will just elect to hang out back on B, knowing that this round is already lost.
Yeah, cheaper helmets and a couple of nades. It's not a lot, but it's just realistic, isn't it? Na'Vi are so out of position for this retake that OG guarantee the round off for 2 entries. Awkward timing for Simple's re-aggro because Bit gets jumped on out apps, and that's as Simple's moving forward. So he wouldn't have made that move, you know, if Bit died earlier. It puts Simple out into the prying eyes of OG. Probably expecting them to be walking up banana at that point. We haven't really seen the B bomb site in this game so far, if you think about it. Na'Vi just did so many A executes and wraps round Long and Bit lurks out of apartments. So let's see how this banana control looks. And I want to see if Fasha remains as the B entry guy on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some of my fondest memories of watching him where he would just run up banana for ecstatic and be lights out. Like, this guy could win your rounds, 2 entries, Job done.
Yeah. It's been a while, though. I mean, Roy was doing it on Fnatic when Fasher was there, so maybe it's not his real estate. For now, the MAC-10's lead. So him and Nexa get that control, and Alexi's just trying to stall it out with a smoke. He's only got one, though. They could just pop right through. Nothing to lose for OG. The only fear is the fear of the stack. But Alexi might get caught in transition here. That's an awkward timing for him to rotate round Coffin, and the round is over. Good pop for OG, nice and confident. And Na'Vi may as well give this another go in the next. Everyone wins.
And we're going to get a unicorn round.
Definitely.
All 10 players surviving. You love to see that.
I do wonder if with the leaks of Inferno on CS2, there's going to be any map changes. Obviously, it's visual change, structural change, prop change for Inferno. We had that many years ago. But I wonder if the map will change.
So,
and as a result, we won't have these kind of situations. You know, it would have to be something pretty drastic, like offering more entrances into sight other than just, you know, the classic banana choke point, which obviously defines this map and this bomb site, but does lead us into this situation.
I think even just like how on Overpass there's been slight changes to angles. There's some options that don't flow the same anymore, especially for the CT side, right? I think even changes like that, you know, would they don't have to be huge. I think we have to add like new lanes or anything crazy. But yeah, man, you know, there was also the one map that we didn't get to see when we went out to Seattle to go beta test the game, right? That was the one map that was obscured from us, that there was nothing on.
Slip that in there.
But no, I'm just saying, you know, we saw all the others.
Well, we saw
apart from Virgo and Anubis.
Yeah. Oh, I ran around on Anubis. They told me off. Yeah, wasn't meant to do that. But we didn't see Vertigo. I think for me, I'm just thinking that won't be in the map pool because they put it in casual. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making that up. But in the beta, you can't play it, so not in competitive. So I wonder. Everyone's wondering, Harry, if there'll be a new map on top of.
I mean, they did purchase Tuscan, as we know.
That was a long time ago, but that is true. You know, that is true. Cobble leak, maybe. Anything's possible, including another B hit for OG. This time, Na'Vi have stacked it. 3 players, and the smoke actually comes down this time. That was what was lacking last. However, OG will still be grouping with 4 players at top B. They might just send it. And, oh, Na'Vi are trying to gamble again. Now, the issue with this is you don't want to double save this buy, right? Like, you're buying next anyway. You'll save the armor, sure, you'll give the FAMAS another go, but this is awkward. This may be a reason for Na'Vi to throw themselves in.
Back-to-back unicorns. That's like a unicorn and a double rainbow on the same day.
All the way across the sky?
This would be wild. I don't even think brains could exist to comprehend a unicorn double rainbow setup.
Well, so we won't get it.
That won't happen.
Oh. Oh.
Oh dear.
Careful.
Oh dear.
Careful. But it is all under control. OG on double dig.
Yeah, the stack just avoided both times for Na'Vi. Kind of left them wanting a bit here. It means they're going to have the FAMAS and Galil going forward. So this like first rifle round going to feel somewhat bonusy for Na'Vi, even though they're not the ones in that position. They're just going to play it with these saved weapons. That gives them a little more longevity, especially with how you know, saving is so prevalent here on Inferno. But OG up in the lead. Can they keep it that way as we head into this first proper look at rifles for Na'Vi?
I hope they keep up the pace. They still have a MAC-10 as well. He's not leading. He's setting up flashes for top B. But similar to how we just saw relentless A hits for Na'Vi on Anubis and B splits for OG on that map. I wonder if OG just go back to what they've already established on this T side. This time, though, Na'Vi fighting for top B. And they have a flash setup ready from Ema. Great grenade for Alexi. And up they go. Regali hunts the kill. He catches JL with his pants down, nades in hand. Still this flash setup ready for Alexi, but he won't commit to it. And that smoke just wards him off for now. Not too worried, because OG aren't putting any more pressure on. They're grouping back on A for a 5-on-2. Simple and bit. Definitely the guys you'd want playing a bomb site together, but they're split right now. These are not easy positions to get multi-kills from, and Simple's even rotating all the way around on long to re-peek mid with him.
The last time Bit was here, he got caught by the apps drop, and that's what OG are going to run at him again. This is like the best counter to the under porch play.
Mac 10 first as well.
Vasher confirms the pit is cleared. The reposition from Bit is really nice. When he hears that flash go over the apartments, he knows the danger he's in. He's fallen prey to it once already, so he's actually going to push forward and try to take the space back in the apartments. Next are waiting for it, but Bit makes that fight look easy.
Now it's on.
Now the retake looks to begin. k1to snaps it out. Simple found aggressing through the short side.
Now it's off.
Already the numbers turn against you here for NAVI. They write this one off. Back to the drawing board. That's at least where the saved, the saved Famus and Galil have allowed for a buy to come out in the next round. This is an option open as a result of how this, how the force buys started for NAVI.
You understand why Simple trusts his gut, right, as the best player in the world, but he just swings through the short smoke on his own with no support when his team is setting up long, and immediately he dies. I imagine Alexi just calls to save, right? Like, NAVI don't really even get to set up and make that look interesting. They have so much util, they have kits, they have decent rotate timings and apps control. I would love to see NAVI given more time to actually attempt that round, but when Simple dies, the numbers just don't look good. But he felt like he had a gap. k1to had his eyes on it. And that's an awkward round to lose for NAVI, because now this game is slipping through their fingers. 4 rounds in a row for OG on the top of the T side. Looking reinvigorated, looking for Ancient as our decider. And NAVI again desperate on timeouts, 3 used.
I mean, Nexa has been the guy holding down the fort for OG, as we mentioned, but it feels like now that you're starting to get these activations out of k1to, Fiku rising up through the rankings, and even Regali opening in that last round. Slowly but surely the other pieces are falling into place for OG, no longer feeling like a one-man army. Util over towards Banana. NAVI want to try and stake their claim to this side of the map. 3 strong here, but the Util does succeed in uprooting them for now. OG grouping outside of mid, but that smoke thwarts any presence they were looking to take here. They've got to respect it.
It's a good spot for Simple to deny a rush. Very difficult to flash this position. OGR moving up Banana. That looks to be the end goal here as Fiku fakes out middle. k1to makes noise in the apartments. They don't know about this being a fake. They don't have anyone in apps, so this will keep 2 at B. But Simple and Alexi with util and the AWP. Simple looks for his shot. As I said, can't really flash this very easily. It's often going to land higher over CT. Simple should at least have an opening kill and the option to back up. Oh, great flash.
Gets him off the angle. He needs help. Simple won't get it. A run down by Nexa and Fasha. And even though Ima's here, can he offer up anything to entice NAVI in for this round? There's a gap on the smoke, but nothing's being offered. Flash through. He tries his hand. Only good for 1.
I like that they try it. A lot of teams just surrender immediately, but there's worlds where Ima goes through, he gets a double kill, suddenly the round's on. You have to attempt some rounds here, as this game is just coming up so nicely for OG on T side. That's just an excellent flash for k1to, reading that angle from Simple very, very well. Because often you're not throwing the entry flash close over the wall, you're throwing it deep into CT or deep over B. I just heard OG say, full blind, sig flash.
I mean, that is what kickstarted it all, right? Knocking Simple off the angle. It was a sig flash. They're dead on. And OG are well and truly building into this now. Still flawless on the T side since swapping over.
Yeah.
The cracks starting to show for NAVI. Simple crowdfunded.
I
mean,
he's going for it.
they keep giving him the AWP, but you're waiting for that big simple moment.
I'll be here all day.
You know, it felt like he wasn't needed to perform in a huge way back on Anubis, but it's certainly being demanded now.
When Simple's got the AWP, I'm not leaving until the credits have run. I'm waiting for that after show. And maybe this is the round with him and Bit side by side in apartments. Bit getting blocked in, but Simple will retreat. Boost up at back B. Fasher will be up to his usual tricks, taking Banana back for the OG gang. And again, I feel like they're just going to execute because it's done them so well on this T side. Alexi will drop the molly, and you're needing JL to get a multi-kill from this boost. If Alexi makes it back to New Box, there are a lot of options. JL could flash for him. Wants OG into B, and they're going to go right through that smoke.
Oh yeah, Alexi caught out over towards the spawn side, but JL on the boost does return that advantage to NAVI, and so finally they've got that to look forward to. It's no longer a retake where losing one player signals the end of the round here. They've not been in this position yet on the CT side, and so this has got to be the time for NAVI. This has got to be where they course correct and look to break back into the series. Flash is getting thrown over. Util raining through, and Ema, first man in. Regali opens, finds himself a second. It's left onto Fiku, back of the site. They will find him, but they can't deal with him. Bit eventually collects, gotta run and grab the kit, but it's close, and the bomb too far away. Those few meters that Bit had to run, they'll be the ones that let down NAVI. OG, another round secured. Regali with some fancy footwork to make it happen as that retake's coming in. He nails two of those players as NAVI send them in to the waiting guns.
And this is such disrespect play from OG as well to go through that smoke. We were just talking about how the setup between Alexi and JL looks perfect, right? A molly primed, ready to go. It's his smoke that makes him reposition, and he gets caught just out in the open. Even though both players go 1 for 1, it's not enough. NAVI are getting desperate right now. Running through a Molotov. Ema's going to get that kill at least. It's something. Relieve some pressure here from NAVI, but they are down by 5 rounds. Yet to grace the CT side.
OG have slowed it right down. They're hoping that someone overextends here, but NAVI don't really have a reason to bring the fight to them anymore. Go back to this double setup. NAVI have been super keen to do this, right? To just leave A to the sole defense of Simple and Bit. We haven't really seen the reason as to why yet.
No.
There ever was a time, it's now, right? The nade from Simple is very well timed, and he's got himself a second. That's another nade out from the pit. Finding good damage. Simple and Bit combined for a kill apiece, but it's Fiku and Regali left to take this one over the line. Alexi doesn't let them in, and so the first round found for NAVI appears on the board on this CT side. Takes them 7 rounds deep into the second half to manage it, but they will.
Oh, just seeing Nightmare mode on this CT side for NAVI. Even Simple pre-smokes that Molotov, but he throws it so deep in the corner so he can re-peek with the AWP, right? So he still has open sight lines. And they just molly him. It doesn't even get close. Fiku's molly completely burns Simple out, forcing him to re-swing and dying after 1. So, OG. They finally drop around at least, but it's really not. These aren't clean rounds for NAVI. These aren't inspiring a lot of confidence. They're going to need a big streak here.
They've given up this top banana again. I mean, this has been what NAVI have done on the B site a hell of a lot. OG have kind of loved the space they've been given over here. So throwing a bit of util out over towards A, trying to cut off info on both sides of the map. But I feel like OG just have to group and go for one of these B hits. I mean, it's worked every single time. And if you're going to keep getting this room at top banana with no threat of harassment, no threat of, you know, any sort of follow-up from Na'Vi, I think you take that every damn time. And this round is no exception. JL boosted up. He will be checked and cleared by Fiku, and that leaves this even. But Ema, through this smoke, has given them a lifeline. Keto is a long way out. Nexa in the site alone. Keto still waiting for a mid-rotate that sure could arrive, but it doesn't look like it's going to. And yeah, Bit's heading back through CT, so Keto's got to get a move on. Up through Banana he comes. Nexa down in the pit. They can cover each other from this setup. Ooh. Smoke down at the top of Banana forces Keto to try come through, try play ahead of it. He doesn't want to hang Nexa out to dry, and he will deal with Ema, that first man in. Follow-up for Keto is clean, and he'll manage the third. The one German left in Cologne rises to the occasion. Keto with a hat-trick, and OG win that round. A man down in the post plant. They didn't make life easy for Keto, but he had the perfect responses to that smoke coming in. He isolates those fights really well. He's so aware of what angles he's got to be responsible for there. Holds Coffin for a double swing before he moves to deal with CT. That was a nice bit of synergy between him and Nexa to make something of a round that finally felt like it was going to be something over towards that B site for Na'Vi.
And OG is just playing a great T-side right now. Remember, Nex had 19 kills first half, and it was just on him to get all these multi-kills on A. He's not been required, right? We've had those pieces we need. Na'Vi giving away Banana for free. Fash has been taking it without entries required. Fiku's been pulling up clutches. Keto comes through with a high-impact round. Everyone's been pulling their weight. We've not even seen the T-side orb really make an appearance, and it's finally coming through. But it's not out of necessity by any means. Aside from a flash in the pan back on A from Na'Vi, it's been OG looking solid on T-side Inferno. And a bit of a worrying Na'Vi here in this map. Felt like they were losing steam towards the end of Anubis. They still closed it. And now there is no coal in this train at all. Down Banana with a statement. Good Molotov, burns out Fasher. He has to smoke it. He still sticks out. JL takes a 5-on-4. Ooh, yeah, he just grabs the AK, abandoning Banana now.
The other thing that's crazy to me is, like, coming into this, I said how statistically, right, the limited look into OG that we have on Inferno, it's normally Regali and Fasher that are front runners for the team. They're both dead bottom of the board for their squad. Still struggling to find their way in, and without that, it doesn't even seem to matter. It's the rest of the gang for OG that are keeping them in this, keeping their heads above water. And so this round ends as simply as that. Keto, 2 kills on a swing out at top Banana, and he has delivered map point to OG. Not just winning that clutch in the one prior, now winning them that 15th round.
What a recovery for Keto, who was the problem, you could even say, on Anubis, right? Like, consistently aggressive at A main, getting picked. Both halves, same result, losing his head-to-heads to Bit. You know, calling for support sometimes, it still wouldn't do any favors for OG. And it felt like they could never fix that problem. And ultimately, felt like the reason they lost the map. But here, he has been just the expert. The most important piece of the puzzle on this T side. And with Na'Vi forced to save a final ditch attempt to get 6 straight, we go to Ancient. Teething issues certainly with the synergy of this new Na'Vi team getting brought into question. Beautiful transfer. And I ain't talking about the roster. But OG might have something here.
I mean, considering this was once 7-3 to Na'Vi, this is a crazy turnaround from the OG squad. And as we say, like, spearheaded by Nexa early on, but he just hung on long enough. He dug his feet in, he dug his claws in to keep OG in the game. And Now we've got the rest of the squad coming alive around him. This one has not got off to such a tremendous start for OG. Churned up as they try to leave the apartments. They're really going to try run the apps pop versus an Alexi B-led team. And signature move busted out against NAVI, and the pretty dismal results here. So it seems like NAVI will stay the course for now, at least keeping this map alive.
Just keep numbers for NAVI. That's the goal, right? Keep it tight. They've got the bomb. They've got a crossfire. You know, may as well just let OG save, considering they're going to have rebuys regardless. And if NAVI can get 5 alive, they don't have to worry for really the remainder of the game. Just starting their attempt to come back off on the right foot. JL goes down banana. He might be able to catch OG at the bottom of middle if they go and save in T-spawn. 20 seconds. They know they're not going for it. Bit having trouble getting up there, but Simple peeks in. They'll save the AWP either way. Regali runs.
This is a test of the metal for NAVI, though, man. It's going to take a lot to remain resilient here, especially after how quickly this game feels like it's turned sour. Going to take a lot from Alexi to try keep the different personalities within this team in check. 5 rounds between them and OG, so it is going to be an uphill battle for the NAVI squad with no margin for error. For OG, that one, I think you can just forget about it, right? Kind of write it off. Yeah, we tried an app spot. We tried something a little bit faster over towards the A side of the map. Not something that we've really seen from OG on the T side just yet, and it didn't work out. So now you assume they go back to something a little slower here, working this default early, fighting for the banana control. There's Nexa there just replying to this util, keeping the attention of NAVI over at the B site. Are they going to try run back the apps play? That looked to be the decision here to open up this round. Lots of players dedicated over towards the apartments and lots of bodies leaving it in bags as NAVI sit pretty in the advantage again.
Yeah, now OG just have to be patient and hope they catch NAVI players changing position, but everyone looks pretty entrenched right now with all this mid-info as well. IEM ready to swing off of Simple's contact and bit with an angle that's impossible to clear without walking out of balcony. And OG don't look like they want to make a move as an individual. They want to group as a team instead. Back to the banana. And that's if they even go for this. Because if they don't, you can justify buying the next. Regali can drop a gun. Suddenly there's a hope. OG fancy their odds at a 3-on-2 though on B. However, he must just come back on rotation. And the question has always been on this B bomb side, the timing of this utility, as OG have disrupted it by pushing smokes and playing weird timings. This is so late, the NAVI might not be ready, but that third player is still moving through. Important entry kill. Flash sets Alexi B up, but they're already crossed in. They don't look towards him. Regali's looking nowhere as he's blinded off. He does find Alexi in the end. That Molotov will force a different plant position, and IEM can maybe go through and deny it. Seconds to spare. He gets flashed through. The plant's stuck, and they get back to the site.
Oh no, but he spammed the coffins. He spammed where he mollied. And so Nexa's allowed to reposition. They get to the back of the site. Nexa and Regali left in the hot seat for OG. Regali dead immediately. And so it's IEM let off the leash, swinging through that smoke in spawn to save the day for NAVI and keep them in this match that much longer. A round that gets far scarier than it felt like it had any right to, but NAVI will dust themselves off, continuing to build late into this game on the CT side.
I could have gone very wrong, right? Like, this is a map where, you know, 3-on-5 on T sides, if you pick the right location, can be hyper winnable on T halves, just because of your ability to isolate with utility. And OG almost make it so. But IEM, even though he spams nothing as he comes through the smoke, he makes up for it with that big double to end. And NAVI now get what should be a freebie. Almost wasn't, with a German Deeg making an appearance. Simple bites back. And NAVI, in all reality, only 2 gun rounds away from overtime.
These round Navi gets, you know, there's going to be a bit of a mindset switch for OG. It's no longer, all right, let's win this now. It's like, okay, we can't lose this like this.
Yeah, and this would be elimination for OG, even though, you know, let's not sell it too hard right now with a 4-round, you know, 4 rounds to close this map out. If we go to overtime, that's OG facing an early exit in a series. It felt like they could long out to 3. Can they just close it with some well-placed Eagle shots? Will Alexi allow it? He falls back after the spot. There's a way in here. There's not really much util to stop this. That's an important flash to split them apart as JL finds one kill from the back of the site. He gets bogged down on a spray. Alexi needs something here from this off angle. They start to cross inward. He will get the bomb dropped. Runs out of ammo though, and that's another D for Fiku. A 2-on-2. They are low, but they've been armed, and they're certainly dangerous.
Yeah, simple with the AWP here. That's not really the ideal gun for the job, so he's going to look to swap it out. Just like a boomerang as a way of coming back to him, but he will trade out onto the AK. Regali and Fiku want to try swing and spawn, and they'll both nail it. Fantastic.